Have the roll call, please. Can we turn that down? Thank you.
Clute. Here.
Craig.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Weinrice.
Here.
Mayor Rober.
Present. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's good to see our average number crowd here on a given Monday night, so let's get started with the agenda approval. Is there anything that I missed, or is there anything we need to add to the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Weinrice.
Aye.
Mayor Rober.
Aye. The City Commission adjourns to convene as the Board of Adjustments for the following public hearing. Tonight we have three of them. We're going to start with 3.1, consider variance request filed by Cruz Chan, project address 979 4th Street Northeast, to allow a garage only to be constructed on the lot where code requires a principal building, and to allow a 9.3 setback from the east property line where code requires a 25-foot yard setback, and to allow a 5-foot setback from the west property line where code requires a 7-foot side yard setback in the area zoned R4. I'm going to turn this over to our city planner, Barry Cranston.
Thank you, Mayor. This was heard by the hearing examiner last week. We had looked at this. We've had a number of occasions where people have tried to do something on this lot, and I can put it up on the whiteboard for people to see. This lot is, the yellow is the close property line. The red would be where the garage would be located in that area. This lot is only 44 feet wide, and if you were to treat that as a 25-foot front and front side yard setback, it's unbuildable. So this was a chance for Cruz to do something small for his small business, and so we recommended approval. It's for a drywall and painting business, and but the hearing examiner did want to note that in the future, if you were to ever sell this lot and you're no longer in the business or in the community, then whoever you sell it to, if it's not the same drywall painting style of business, they'll have to come back to the city and get a variance, because it is in a residential zone, and it's not just, you can't just have a commercial operation in it. And he wanted to emphasize that. And so with that, we all, the hearing examiner, myself, and the building inspector all looked at this, and we all recommended approval.
Okay, thank you. I'd entertain a motion to get this on the table.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Do
Any,
we get to staff one
Yeah,
more statement?
yeah,
Okay.
you'll get a chance.
Okay, thank you.
First of all, I would like to ask Mr. Cruz, is that everything that you thought of? Did he cover that very well? My question to you would, and you guys all have a chance, but where will you enter and exit from your lot here?
For the 4th Street,
4th Street?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's gonna be,
Yes, it will be addressed to 4th Street,
okay.
and there will be a front walk-in door on the garage.
Okay. Anybody else?
Is there a driveway then, or?
Yes, there would be a drive and entrance down here on the south end.
So, and that'll be poured concrete the whole way? or gravel, or
We don't have any restrictions that require that. It can be gravel.
Do you have any plans for a driveway?
probably concrete. Yeah.
Okay.
And do we know what type of material you're planning to use for the construction? Is that in there? Or you just gonna
Oh,
be-
it's just just a regular construction, it's wooden
Yeah.
facility. It's a residential,
So like-
facility, so.
Like lap siding or what type?
Or lap siding.
Mhm.
With an overhead door.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
garage.
So we can put his van in.
It's allowed to use, steel siding too?
That, no, steel siding would.
Residential steel siding.
Residential steel siding, like aluminum siding
Yeah.
is a possibility,
Okay.
but not commercial grade or agricultural style.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that, I guess, was gonna be my question, and that would probably be my comments here, and I know we're gonna hear from the neighbors, but I do think because this is a residential neighborhood, we should make a part of our condition. We've already heard from the hearing examiner that he would like this to have a variance if it's used in a different, and I think beyond that, I think we should put some conditions that the appearance of the structure is consistent with a residential
Mhm.
neighborhood in order to keep it so that it looks consistent with the rest of the neighborhood.
Sure.
Okay. Anybody else? Is there anyone in the audience? Let's do the in favor of, because we're on Mr. Cruz's deal right now. So is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment in favor of this? And if not, anyone opposed? Come on up and please state your name and address, please.
Yes, James A. Schmidt. I live at 455 Jersey, just to the north side of it. I have been here and I talked about several things before. Number one, it is a family dwelling area. It's not commercial, so you'd have to change the zoning law to make it legal. Otherwise, what good is zoning laws if you can change them to win, to help somebody out or whatever. I also mentioned that the snow removal, where's he gonna put his snow? I don't want it, the neighbor doesn't want it, if he pushes out in the street, that's the only way that we get out. If the city piles their snow this way, instead of the Buell's Apartments, and he piles his snow this way, we're gonna have a bank as tall as this, and they'd have to haul it away every single time there's a bad winter. And if we can't get out, all of us that live that direction have no exit. And in case of an emergency, then we really got a mess. Ambulance couldn't get in and out. Also, the thing is, any building that's built that close to the street, you'd have to change your variance to be able to compensate for that too. And that is going to be up there. And one more thing to echo the wonderful gun range. You know, it's bad enough the way it is. If we have something else there to boom it back at us, it's not a good deal for our neighborhood. It really isn't. And I hope you take that into consideration. We have been up here before on different times when spot zoning has been tried in our part of the country, and we have shot it down. And I've driven around, and there are other places, commercial areas, that would probably be a lot better fit, you know? And I'd gladly go around and show him all the different places where he could build and talk to people about it. And my neighbor, if you wanted to try to figure out a way to dump that property and not have to sell it to the neighbor to the west, I think he made an offer. And, oh, no, but if we sell it to him, problem solved.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Schmidt.
Doesn't Cruz own the property? Do you currently own the property, Cruz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else in the audience in opposition? Okay, seeing none. We have a motion to approve and a second. Anything else anybody wants to add after hearing the opposition?
I would just
Yes.
mimic kind of what Commissioner Bragg said, maybe we stick with the LP smart lap siding or something to that nature. It doesn't have to be that, or a vinyl siding, something more residential. He's got plenty of lot to the south. I think he's got plenty of places to move the snow. In my personal opinion, if we don't do something with some of these smaller lots and they just don't get mowed, they don't get cared for, they just sit there and waste away and never get used. So I think if we can keep a residential look to it and utilize the property, as long as there's not a lot of stuff sitting around the outside, I do not have a problem with it.
I just wanted to comment too, I wanted to make sure that there was not going to be a lot of equipment and things outside, because, you know, the purpose of building the garage is to keep everything inside.
Yeah.
So that would be a concern that I would have, and would like to ask you to comply with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Pretty much all my tools, for drywalls, not many equipment, very much small things, yeah, really, yeah.
I guess I would ask, do you have a building size in mind? I know this is a small lot, I get it.
Yeah, probably 30 by 50, or if that's possible.
And so what does that do to our 33%?
Oh, no, that he wouldn't,
wouldn't
he
be
would,
close.
no, wouldn't even be close.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
That's, I just wanted
the
to make sure.
45% coverage ratio wouldn't even be effective.
Okay.
So, you know, we ask this question a lot of times when we put these conditions on it, so, you know, how does that language need to be? If we, you know, I think the building should be built with a residential appearance,
Mhm.
residential siding and roofing, and, you know, no outdoor storage of tools and equipment. I think both those things should be mentioned in the conditions, just so that we can keep, because I agree, sometimes these lots just get lost, and we don't want to create a situation where nothing can ever be done with it, but we also don't want to adversely impact the neighbors. So if we can find a compromise where he can do something nice that's appropriate with the neighborhood and utilize the lot, I think that's a win-win for everybody.
Do you, would you, let's hear the motion if you are close, before we,
Yeah. To approve with recommendations of the hearing examiner and to add conditions to make the outside have an appearance like residential siding and roofing and no outdoor storage.
that's sufficient for the motion and the second? Okay. Any other discussion, questions? Roll call vote, please.
Clue.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Schmidt, and thank you, Jan, for coming in. Let's move on to 3.2, consider variance request filed by Tasha Hokinson, project address 53 at Dakota Avenue North, to operate a child care facility where this is not listed as a permitted use in the area zoned 1-2 general industrial, I-2, sorry.
I-2, yes. Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just want to, as a point of clarification, we do not, this facility that Tasha is proposing is not a typical child care center, okay? She had made that clear in our hearing examiner meeting, and this is more, I think you called it a family enrichment center.
Yes.
And so it's for youth, and there may be some small children present at certain times, but the hours of operation are merely Saturdays and evenings, I believe.
Yes.
And so it's not a daycare per se, but when we had to try and adopt the language a little bit, what we have in our ordinance deals with childcare. And so there will be youths and preteens and possibly small children there, but it's not a typical daycare. I want to make that clear for the record. And then when we considered this, we looked at the zoning and the building codes. Obviously, when there are families and children present, that's something that is concerning. And so I looked at the parking, there's plenty of parking there, and didn't have any problems with that. And the building inspector, he looked at everything, and he felt that, you know, if there were any significant alterations or renovations, it would require a separate permit, and he'd do a final inspection before it opened. And so the hearing examiner recommended approval with the conditions of the building official on this particular one.
Okay,
I would move to approve.
Second.
okay, any questions for Mr. Cranston or the applicant?
I was pleased that Barry clarified that. I know you run a daycare facility in town and hear great things about you as a provider. I'm also thrilled to see this kind of facility being brought into Huron. I know when Tumble Track closed, there was a lot of concern about having another facility like this. I just wanted to ask, do you have a name in mind for it?
We go by Wild Cubs now.
Okay,
So we've actually been running for 2 years, but we're mostly public spaces. And we want a permanent space.
okay. I think it's a great idea.
Any other, I just have one question too, just because I don't know, but when you say it's not a child care facility, it's a come and go as, it's
So we will
open to
have-
everyone, or?
We will have scheduled events for families, including teens, young children, everyone will have something for everybody.
So it's not just your personal clients, it's,
Nope,
okay.
open to the public.
Yep, okay, thank you.
I do have one more question. So will it be operated so that families can just drop children off, or it will be
So-
supervised?
Most of it will be a parent-child class.
Okay.
I do want to do teen events, which would be drop-off,
Mhm.
and older children's art classes, which would also be a drop-off option.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? We have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call vote, please.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Whitenice.
Aye.
Mayor Roberts.
Aye. Thank you for coming in. Move on to 3.3, consider a variance request filed by Gary Marshall, project address 390 7th Street Northeast, to construct a garage only where code requires a principal building in an area zoned R2. One last time, Mr. Cranston?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm fighting my software, I accidentally closed it, I apologize, but. Okay, so, this garage that Mr. Marshall is proposing to build, is down here in this bottom corner where my mouse is circling right here. He is proposing to build a garage there. He owns a property over in the Ravine Lake development. And he has searched and tried to figure out a way to build a garage there. And unfortunately, his parcel is not large enough. And so he went to Plan B with this, and he's been working on it, I think, a couple years, if I remember right. Gary is proposing to face the garage to the east. This is Utah Avenue. And the road up on the north here is 7th Street Northeast. And so when I looked at this, there were a number of conditions that I wanted to make sure that we were aware of. With the garage being located that far south, there is a potential that someday in the future, there could be a residence built on this. So, with this particular site, that would allow for a residence, and then that would then cure the requirement for the variance. If in the future, if the house is detached and facing 7th Street, the condition that I recommended was that it meet the required setbacks for that zoning district, and that's a 30-foot setback there. And since it is on a corner, Though it is considered a front side yard and a front yard. So we'd have to comply that with making sure that all got done through the permitting process. However, if he were to build the garage and then a year or two, whenever later, if he were to attach it to the garage, then I want him to observe the setback of the garage and not extend closer to the street than the garage. And so those were the conditions that I recommended to the hearing examiner. The building official agreed with those comments, and the hearing examiner agreed with those as well, so that we can make allowances for any future accommodations that happen when and if a residence is constructed there. So with that, we all recommended approval.
And the marshals are fine with that, all that? Okay, all right.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, any questions? Commissioner Bragg?
So, and I see here, they're also gonna use the covenant to join the lots.
Oh, yes, I apologize, yes, that's correct. There will be, will require a covenant, because there are 2 lots here. The lots run north and south, and we'll require them to put both lots together via a covenant.
I think several of us were here and voted to approve the lot next to it doing the same thing.
I was just gonna say,
Same
there's one
thing,
right
yes.
next to it. yeah.
Yes, it would be tough
And
to,
Mr. Heine is here as well, so,
and that one has worked out fine.
yes, yes.
Did we hear any comments from any?
No, we've not heard any negative comments for this at all. We did have a person in the audience, but I think she apparently was satisfied because she never came back to us with any opposition, so.
Okay, all right. Anybody else? Question for the marshals, for Barry? All right, we have a motion to approve in a second. Roll call vote, please.
Clute.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Weinrich.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. Thank you for coming in, marshals. All right, the Board of Adjustments adjourns to reconvene as the City Commission. We're gonna move on to public forum. Public forum is limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per person. And if you have something for public forum, please state your name and address for the record. Is there anyone, Commissioner Clute has something for us.
Just real briefly, I wanted to give a shout out, Mayor, to a number of our departments that took place in the local emergency planning committee's emergency ammonia drill that was held last week. And what a great response. Everyone responded to that drill in a very positive way. And I was so impressed with our departments and the hospital, People's Transit. It was very well done. Just wanted to give a shout out to them.
Good, thank you. Okay, anybody else have anything for public forum? I have one, and I guess we go along and we do business in our town, and sometimes the business isn't always real popular, and sometimes there's more opposition than others, and then we have special things like tonight. We have several people in our community that are more experienced than some of the rest of us, and we have one of those tonight with us. And he and his family have been a very important role in our city. I mean, from schools to clinics to Parks and Rec to, well, you name it. The Roderts are in a lot of stuff, okay? So I'm gonna turn this over to our Parks and Rec Director, Chad Schroeder, because, well, Chad's the boss, and he's taken lessons from Mr. Roder. So I'm gonna turn it over to him and let him present this recognition.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. So tonight we have a young man in our audience, and Jerome, if you'd like to come forward, please. And this young man's been working for us for 13 years. And over the last couple of weeks, if everybody's been trying to tuck in to find shade and air conditioning, you probably find him out in the middle of Prospect Park on an 11-foot mower, maybe under a shade tree for a couple minutes, and then we get rolling again. So What's unique about this young man is on July 23rd, which is Thursday, he's going to turn 90 years old. And he's still committed to the city of Huron. So Jerome, thank you for your commitment to the city. Thank you for all your hard work. And we hope you enjoy your 90th birthday on Thursday, and happy birthday. I will. Yeah, thank you.
One, two, three.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you again. Are you gonna take it off? What? I haven't heard yet. It's probably be out mowing. I know you.
I don't know, does he have any time off coming?
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you very much for what, for you and all your family, what you do for the city of Huron. All right, we're gonna move on to the consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. Tonight, we have 6.1 minutes of July 13th, 2026, 6.2 fuel quotes for the city departments, 6.3 personnel items. Number 1, acknowledge that Jesse Hansen, assistant in the circulation and outreach services at the Huron Public Library, has completed his probationary period, making him eligible for supplemental benefits effective August 1st, 2026. Number 2, accept the voluntary resignation of Kay Saw Po in the Solid Waste Operator 1 effective July 25th, 2026. Number 3, post internally and advertise to fill that vacant Solid Waste Operator 1 position. And number 4, approve the part-time employment of Kay Saw Po as a truck driver for the Solid Waste Department at $20 per hour effective July 26, 2026. 6.4, please consider appointment of Brad Hepper to serve on the Planning Commission, and he will be replacing Claire Busing. And 6.5, payment of the bills.
Motion to approve? Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Clue.
Aye.
Bragg.
Aye.
Darby.
Aye.
Wonders.
Aye.
Mayor Roberts.
Aye. Moving on to petitions and communications, and tonight we have some updates, and we're gonna start with Ted Hayter from our Greater Huron Development Corporation. Fill us with some inspiration, Ted.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Talk about housing development, downtown redevelopment, and workforce development, things we've been involved in the last year. Starting with housing development, Southtown started with 62 lots in that development. 25 of those 62 lots are sold, most of those being developed and a number of those being built on at this time of the summer. So we'll look to add 3 to 4 new houses in Southtown this summer, which is fantastic. 2 governor's houses that we had delivered in 2024 have been sold. We've got 2 delivered in 2025. 1 was sold and 1 is available for sale. And we have 2 more governor's houses being delivered this summer. 1 of those is sold and 1 will be available for sale. Sale price on those is gonna be just under $300,000 for the lot, the 1,200 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, attached garage with an unfinished basement. Lots sell in Southtown for $22,500, $27,500, or $32,500, depending on size and location. In Dogleg Court on the north side of town, 12 new lots went in there. There were 9 single-family lots and 3 duplex lots. 1 of those lots has been sold and developed and is occupied by a couple living up there. We have a house going in another one of those lots, which is our partnership with the Career and Tech Ed program with the Huron High School. And I think you're probably familiar, but just a refresher, that Greater Huron partnered with the Huron School District to purchase the houses built by the Career and Tech Ed class every year for the next 3 years. And those will stay in the city limits of Huron. The first one we're developing is about 1,900 square feet, 3-car attached garage on one of those lots in Dogleg Court, and it's possible that we'll have that house sold before it is finished, and the buyer would finish everything off to meet their needs. We'll know about that soon. Another property that is just come onto our radar is the Lake Heights addition, North Circle Drive. Danny Hofer came into my office a couple months ago and said, hey, would you be interested in finishing this out at some point in the future? I realize it's time for me to hand up this off to someone else, so we came to an agreement, and we hope to close on that property by the end of July, which would give us several new lots to develop and make for sale in a different price range and a different price point for a group of people that are interested in building homes in Huron. There's no infrastructure there right now, and we'd have to figure out how to get that put in, but the first step is to get control of the property, which we would get from Danny here by the end of the month. So we look forward to that, and that'll bring open a handful of new lots in that area. And then we just completed a housing needs assessment. Greater Huron contracted with the Augustana Research Institute out of Sioux Falls to conduct a survey of the city of Huron. And if you want to read the full 188-page report, it's available on our website, greaterhuron.com. But I'll just give you a quick summary of the findings. That on a low growth scenario in the city of Huron, we need 6 to 7 new owner occupied houses a year and 12 to 15 rental units per year under low growth. Under high growth, we need 17 to 18 new owner occupied housing units a year and 16 to 19 rental units. So if we want to grow, we need to push things a little bit more than we have in the past. Greater Huron is doing spec homes with our CTE program, our governor's houses, and talking to private developers to develop some new multifamily properties for rent in the community. Downtown, we've made about $1.45 million in direct loans to building and business improvements. We've done over $175,000 in facade grant programs. That's 33 individual payments. Not necessarily 33 facade grants made, but some of those were in phases, where somebody would do windows and doors in one phase and then awnings in another, or a couple of different projects, tuck pointing, brickwork, whatever it might be. We've made over $1 million in direct business loans to 4 separate locations in downtown that include commercial space and then some apartments upstairs. We did 16 sewer loans when Dakota Avenue was redone, and we've had a few of those loans repaid already and others in repayment, so that's good. And then business recovery loans, when the downtown was shut down, it impacted a number of businesses. We made a $6,000 loan to some of those businesses with no payments for the first 6 months, and then 12 months of interest-free repayment. And we're starting to see those loans return. Into workforce, we talked about that partnership with the Huron Career and Tech Ed program. That continues. We sponsor the annual Huron High School Career Fair. Our spec building by Lankota is under contract to be sold, and we hope to be closing on that in the next month. Kansas Court, we sold a pair of lots that are under development just south of Coburn's, where Tony Mullen is building his Shondo project. Dakota Metal Recycling is a project we've been working with that's gonna do metal shredding. So this is beyond what most recyclers do, where they crush things up and ship things out on rail. They will be shredding metal down into small bits, shipping it out to further recyclers. That not something that exists in South Dakota today. It's in surrounding states, and I drove by the site this morning. It is west of Huron, outside of city limits, but in the joint jurisdictional area. J&J Washout is up there. It's the old Huron dressed beef site. They started moving dirt already on that project. And they would like to be operational here in 2026. And then the final update I have is Monday, a week from today at 11 o'clock at the corner of 26th Street and Kansas Avenue Southeast. We're gonna have a groundbreaking for the new hotel project. They've started some dirt work already, but the official groundbreaking is 11 o'clock, July 27, and everyone is invited to attend. And with that, if there's any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Ted, for keeping it going. Just remember, the gas pedal's on the right.
To the floor,
There you go.
right? So keep pushing as hard as we can.
That's right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Ted.
All right, next we have the semi-annual update from the South Dakota State Fair, and we have the boss, Peggy. back
Hello,
with us.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, good to see all of you. So I thought I would touch on our July 2nd tornado, talk a little bit about the fair, non-fair activities, maintenance and repair projects, and some fundraising initiatives that we're launching. So obviously, everybody's fully aware of the storm. We were very fortunate that Department of Corrections sent out emergency crews, as you know, and we worked in collaboration with the city to deploy those folks for cleaning up the city and also the fairgrounds, and what a blessing they were. They did a lot of work, took down a lot of trees. We still have work to do, and fairgrounds are starting to look back to normal. There's still quite a bit of work to do with trees and some roofs and hay houses and a few things, but it was tough to be derailed for 2 weeks with everything else going on. So we're feeling stretched really thin right now, but I'm sure the city's feeling the same way, so. And thank you. I worked directly with Rich a lot and Pauline and coordinating efforts with those inmate crews, so thank you. State Fair, just a few highlights from last year. Our attendance was a little over 180,000. Actually, it was down 3%. Our campers were 1,914, and our fair goers spent over 3.2 million on goods and services and concessions during the state fair. And then we generated over 265,000 in tax revenue. Our youth participants in education, we had nearly 1,500 exhibitors that entered more than 8,000 exhibits in the open class livestock and non-livestock competitions. The Arts and Ed building had over 8,200 education exhibits, which was up 30%, highest we've ever had on record, so that was pretty cool. We had a little over 9,800 4-H displays and exhibitors, over 1,000 entries in FFA, and then our South Dakota largest classroom, we had over 1,100 students and teachers representing 45 schools. It is also the largest participation we've ever had, and I think part of that is when we added Wednesday, it gives schools another day to take advantage of it. So, in our Read and Win program, we had over 55 schools and libraries that participated in that program, and so we handed out or delivered more than 8,300 admission tickets to those kids as an incentive for reading. So, last year we kicked off the America 250 festivities, and that was kind of something that came together about a month and a half before the fair. We were planning on this year, but there was an initiative that came from the White House on down through Department of Ag. So, and we'll be adopting a lot of those festivities for this year's fair too. So if anybody wants to participate in the pie eating contest or the hot dog eating contest, a few other things, you'll have to check out our scheduled events. Last year we also took on a new program called Sensory Friendly Morning, and so we had some designated hours where we kind of turned down the lights in the carnival and turned down the music, and had activities scheduled for folks with sensory issues. So we partnered with the Center for Independence, True Reflections Counseling Services here in town, Disability Rights South Dakota. The Huron Public Library was a huge partner, Open Door Consulting, and then MUU out of Sioux Falls. So we had like Meet a Gentle Horse, cuddle a bunny, we had a therapy dog there, get to know a goat, carnival funds. Then we had a lot of sensory, hands-on sensory activities. So we learned a lot last year, and I think it's tough to find a balance when you have South Dakota largest classroom and sensory. But we're gonna do it again this year and make some adjustments and continue to do it. We did have some special ed students come out that have never been to the fair, from out of town, so that was cool and a wonderful experience to engage with those kiddos, so. And then last year, of course, we had the shed grand opening, so that was pretty exciting. So this year, it's the 141st State Fair, September 2nd through the 7th. It seems kind of late this year. Grandstand acts, we continue to have the Bull Bash, the Red Wolf Construction Bull Bash on Wednesday, Thursday. The Fray, which is rock, on Friday. Nate Smith, welcomed by Premier on Saturday, and Jake Owen, welcomed by Legend Seeds on Sunday, and then the Truck and Tractor Pull, sponsored by American Bank Trust on Labor Day. Free entertainment, we'll have an elephant encounters. Artie, the circus drummer, is a stilt walker and comedian. And then there's Citricity, is a horns, percussions band out of Aberdeen that's just really high energy. And we got to see them at a national show, so they're really fun to see. And then we'll continue with our America 250 and sensory friendly experience. I'll skip over a few things here. So we do have some new foods. Alligator bites, shrimp po' boy, we always get asked that, so that's why I want to share it with you. Lobster rolls, roll whoop, and then also our very own 1904 Remnant will be out at the fair this year selling their olive oils and vinegars. Non-fair events, this summer, well actually into October, we have 6 national events, which is pretty cool. We have the National Ramblay Sheep Show in June, and I will tell you it's because of the shed. We have the National Red Power Roundup in June. Then we have the family campers and RVers in July, and they were with us for a week, and they did a lot of activities out in the community, so that was cool. Then last week we had the National Targhee Sheep Show. And then in August 7th and 8th, we have a National Vintage Snowmobile Championship Show and Swap. So that'll be interesting. And then Sodak Nationals, which last year we were frustrated because we weren't able to go after the National Junior High Finals anytime soon, so we thought, well, we'll just create our own event.
Yep.
And so I think we did that 2 months before the event. It was in October, but we had over 450 entries with 160 contestants and 7 states represented, and that was just pulling it together. So we will again do that in October of this year. Other events, we have Summer Spotlight rolling in this week, followed by Ag Tigers Customer Appreciation next week. South Dakota Senior Games will be here the following week, as well as that snowmobile show, and of course we have, I think, 2 more nights of racing, which we're really happy to have that back into the fold, and utilizing that grandstand. September, we have some smaller events, weddings and those kinds of things, and try to recover a little bit from the fair. Then in October, we have the SDRA Rodeo Finals, the Smashing Can Barrel Race, which is a large barrel race, VFW Hobby Fair, Harvest Fest, Junior Nationals Rodeo, a roping event, and then November, Little Britches Rodeo, and the Mooney McGurr Bull Riding and Breakaway over Thanksgiving, and then December we'll start the MX at the Deck. So lots of activities. In 2027, we have 3 national shows. We actually had, I think we have a 4th one pending, but we had one that was booked that recently had conflicts with their dates, so it was a live junior livestock show. So we're trying to find another date in 2028, but I don't know that we have dates open, which is a sad but good problem to have. Maintenance and repair projects that took place last summer. We re-sided the tap house, the food court, the wide pavilion. The Dakota Land Museum got a new roof. The Dairy Barn got a new roof. Hippodrome replaced the doors. We also got a green energy grant from the state, so we were able to change several buildings' lighting over to LED. And then that grant will finish up this year, so we're doing a bunch more buildings. And then the information center and mother's room, we did the mother's room was kind of like a dungeon. Well, so was the information center. So we did a lot of work in there thanks to some grant funds, and especially in that mother's room. And then, of course, the campground water and sewer project that took place last year. This year, Pancake House will soon be done with new siding and windows, and a new storefront. The Arts and Ed, the storefront and doors are getting replaced on that. The information centers, the storefront and doors are being replaced, and then we also have tuck pointing going on in several of our buildings, which ended up being a much bigger project than we thought it would be, surprise. And then the green energy grant. And our fundraising initiatives, which I'll never say I'm done fundraising. I said it after the decks, I said it after the shed, and here we are. We are launching a Every Stall Counts. Our horse stalls are in terrible shape. So the plan is we will demo the ones that are in the Hippodrome and purchase portable stalls for in there, because you don't know the life of that building. And it really is also a safety issue for those horses. And then we are purchasing, we'll be purchasing an additional, our goal is 350 portable stalls. Our fundraising goal is 500,000, and I can tell you we're already at 350,000 and we haven't even launched it yet. So that's a good thing. So you'll be hearing about that. We haven't done a press release on that yet. And then Hog Wild for a Better Barn. This is a pen goal to purchase 450 new pens. Those two, the pens that we have, are very old and very dangerous and hard for kiddos to move around. The wires are broken. It's hard on livestock and people. So we have, actually we have every dollar donated right now will be matched up to $60,000 thanks to the support from South Dakota pork producers and also the State Fair Foundation. So we will be launching this week with some fundraising efforts taking place during Summer Spotlight. And then utterly invested in fueling the future of dairy. I think this project is going to take much longer. The goal there is 218,000, and there's several phases from replacing the cattle ties inside that barn are rotten out, ceiling fans to get some air moving in there, and then some widen the doors to make it easier for us to get equipment in and out of there. And then lastly, we will be, I believe, the first day of the fair, our backyard project. We did hire the SDSU architect design class to focus on designing something for horticulture park that is focused on accessibility and sensory play. We had we had some preliminary meetings a few months ago, but I had a call with them about 2 weeks ago and saw some of their preliminary plans, so we're excited about how that will be coming together. So, lastly, we developed an impact statement, and I thought I would just share it with you. The South Dakota State Fair brings people together in an authentic place filled with genuine joy, where traditions feel alive, memories are made, and for a while, life feels a little lighter. Through agriculture, family experiences, and year-round events, the State Fair strengthens our rural roots, fosters connections, and creates opportunities for youth to learn, grow, and lead. More than an event, the State Fair strengthens community, builds pride, and keeps South Dakota values alive for generations to come. And then lastly, two things, I guess I keep saying lastly. We are, as always, this time of year in dire need of people. We need a shuttle superintendent, a wine pavilion superintendent, and a camping superintendent. Those are three especially the wine pavilion and the camping. So if you know of anybody, please send them our way. And then lastly, I just, again, can't say enough about the city employees and the city crews sitting right here, what they do for us, because we wouldn't be able to survive really without them financially for what they do, so thank you.
Goes both ways.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, any questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Last year, I got to drive a golf cart and give people rides, and I had a elderly couple from in the Boston area, and we were driving down the street, and there were two, I don't know how old these kids were, not very old. They're each walking a steer into the pens, and it's like this lady was just beside herself. She wanted to go help them kids because they were gonna get hurt. And I said, no, just watch. And so we drove around to the dairy barn, the pig barn, and you see all those little kids, and young people laying with their animals. And they just couldn't get over that. They just couldn't get, it was amazing. So, yeah, we're small, but we're mighty. So,
Thank you.
good.
Thank you, Peggy,
Thank you.
for all you do.
I would just say, Peggy, everyone's worked with Peggy, they know how hard she works,
Yep.
but when she talks about the inmates being here, there was a crew that was called Peggy's Crew. And literally every day, she was out there on the truck, so she's not just in an office in the air conditioning sending instructions out. She has been out every single day on the grounds doing the work herself, so I think all of you have worked with her and know that, but it should be recognized. We're very fortunate to have you here,
Yep.
Peggy.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Excuse me. All right, we're gonna move on to 8.3, consider easement for right-of-way encroachment property address 1231 South Frontier Drive, where an existing detached garage constructed prior to the official plating is non-conforming under the setback requirements with respect to the right-of-way, and authorize the mayor to sign. Barry explained it once to me, so good luck. Go with the other guys.
I do have a picture of it up on the board. This is a clip out of the survey that is a part of the actual easement document. The little piece in yellow there is the 3-foot area that is the portion that encroaches into the right-of-way. South Frontier Drive, this garage was, we believe, present prior to South Frontier Drive and South Frontier, that whole development being actually developed. And so it is truly one of those grandfather things that we've discovered through title search, and they've since sold the property, but it was kind of a hold up there for a while. So in order to correct this, I've had Aaron and Cody look at this, and they developed a document, they drafted a document, and the reason my Wi-Fi is down currently, and so that's what the black spot on the board is, it's searching for Wi-Fi at the moment, and so otherwise I'd bring up the whole document for you, but it is an easement document, and it does have language in there for hold harmless in the future. And it also has a clause in there that should the garage in question ever become in such a state that is completely dilapidated and have to either be majorly rehabbed or in fact taken down, if a rebuild was allowed, it would have to come into conformance and get behind that right-of-way line. And so that is a very small portion, and we didn't feel that it would create any kind of issues for the street crew or the solid waste people that serve that area. So Aaron went ahead and drafted a document, and or possibly Cody. I'm not sure Cody can even hear us at the moment, but, Cody, did you want to add anything there? Yep, okay.
Okay.
So, anyway, that's, they have looked at the document and we recommend. Oh, there he is, okay. Oh,
He's talking.
there we go. How's that?
I can hear you.
Okay, we can hear you now. I had to put you back on.
Okay, I don't want to take credit for drafting this. This was Aaron's handiwork. We talked about it. I think he's comfortable with the language here, and I don't think I have anything else to add.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we need a motion.
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Any questions, comments? This is, this is just a perfect example of why this little stuff is important.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for what's going on now, it's for what's going on now and 50 years from now. So
Mhm.
that's why this stuff is like that. Anyway, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Clute.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Weinrice.
Aye.
Mayor Robish.
Aye. All right, we're gonna move on to departmental items, and tonight we have with us Bob Simpson, our street superintendent, and he's just gonna give us a little bit of an update on our storm cleanup, and we know it's going.
Hopefully this is my last one. I was just gonna let you know, Mayor and Commissioners, where we're at. As of 4:30 today, we had finished the bulk of the town. All we have left is west of the fairgrounds. And then we started on that, so we got a good start out of it. We'll probably be done with that whole shaboo by Wednesday at noon. So we're gaining. We've hauled, as of when I left at 4:30 or so, we had hauled 641 loads, semi-loads, and they're loads, out to the 3rd Street. So I would assume we're approaching that 2 million.
Yeah, I would assume we're probably close to being over.
Yeah.
And to that end, FEMA will be here on Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. And so I did talk to a couple of people already, but I haven't had a chance to send out an email. So if you or someone can be available upon our call,
Okay.
I'm sure we're gonna be out to look at those tree piles. And I know they're gonna wanna look at the solid waste facilities. And I know they're gonna wanna look at the hangar, you know, the big ticket stuff for sure, but, I'll call you and touch base with you when we get kind of a plan on where they wanna go,
Okay.
and so.
And I was just gonna say, add that when we're done with that, then we'll start, probably Thursday, I need to get the school parking lot removed, the trees.
Okay.
And we'll do the fairgrounds as well, because a lot of residential people use the fairgrounds to dump, once they've seen the pile.
Oh,
So, and it's really not that much, I mean, so we're gonna borrow a semi from the county, so we'll get that worked out pretty soon.
and I know a lot of have asked if we're going to make a sweep, a quick sweep, again, second time around.
Next week, I'm hoping to do a quick sweep. The majority of our but issues are, we started Friday right after the storm.
Yes.
You know, and some people were still, you know,
Yep.
need to have time to react.
Yep.
And the stuff that we've done later is pretty clean. That's one thing I wanted to discuss with the alleys. I've been talking to Andrew quite a bit today about which alleys are, you know, his drivers are in there every day. So they see what problems we have. And we've addressed several of the problems, but as far as going through every individual alley, I just soon be pretty selective, because if I start doing that, we're gonna be picking up stuff that's been there for 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how that is, you know, we'll pick up one branch that fell after the storm, 10 that didn't, so. I mean, but you guys are gonna be getting the phone calls as well, so that's what and then I talked to Andrew today about closing and I've been talking to Drew about that, closing the drop-off site. And he asked me if we could wait till Monday after this coming weekend, and I said, that's fine.
You mean 3rd Street, right?
Yep, 3rd Street drop-off, and then after we do, just block that off, or whatever, then everything will go to the landfill,
Okay.
to Andrew.
Okay.
But if he said if we could give him this weekend, you know, then we get pretty much all of our cleanup done and everybody can access it. And it's still busier than you think. And, you know, just like everybody said, the prisoners have been wonderful. You know, the help that we've had is, yeah, it's amazing. So,
Yeah,
you know, people that come out and shake your hand, there's that one person out of 100 that doesn't shake your hand. Shake. But anyhow, a lot of people, it's just been amazing, so.
What is the benefit of closing it right away, or are we better off leaving it open a little longer? I would just assume people get rid of their stuff, you know? and-
Yeah, there really is no benefit other than, you know, eventually we have to just get some
Right,
structure
right.
back to it. But, you know, for every load that doesn't go down there, then Andrew has to mess with it.
Yeah.
So, and he doesn't really want to mess with it.
Why
so-
not?
Can we leave it open until October?
No, I was just curious.
Well, I gotta file, that's another thing, we're gonna get some estimates in there tomorrow, I guess, this week. You know, Andrew and Dale are kinda in charge of that, getting some estimates into grinding it, because eventually it's gonna snow and I'm gonna have to have it.
yeah.
I'm gonna be in panic mode then if we have somewhere.
And Bob, you had mentioned, I mean, obviously, we want individual residents to have the opportunity. I think the concern was, as the individual residents are done, now what we're getting a lot of is paid tree contractors that are
Correct.
charging for their service, but then being able to come drop stuff off without a fee. And so that's where, you know, I don't know that,
It's still,
what the
that's
right,
kinda what we're
what the
running
right
into.
date is,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
there was a date to talk about.
I just wanna make sure we get the community cleaned up good before we
And,
shut it down.
and I've been talking to Drew and he'd put something together and then I said, well, let's hold off till we talk about it tonight. But, I mean, if we can get the word out that it's going to close, I mean, but I'm in no real hurry because what's another 40 or 100 or 5,000 loads out there? I mean, really, because it's amazing.
Massive.
Wow.
It's massive.
It is.
You know, in regards to that 641 loads, you know, we probably have another 100 loads, maybe not quite.
Yeah.
During the derechos, we did roughly about 300, and then the second derecho was only like the first one was 280 loads. So this is bigger than both of the derechos combined, you know, by quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's in regards to tree.
Okay.
But that's where I'm at. I mean, you know, breakdowns slow you down, but
Yeah.
anyhow, it's going very good, and the crew is just
Those
unbelievable.
Those tree piles will be, by the time he's done, will be in excess of 2 million cubic feet of trees.
And I would love to weigh one, but I just don't have the time to wait for my truck. 'Cause he's gotta weigh, then he's gotta dump, and then he's gotta weigh again. I just don't have that kind of time.
It is massive.
So,
I will say there's a couple of people I said we would be going through the alleys, and I might just text you. the
text me if
streets.
you have a problem or if they have an
Yeah.
issue, because.
Just
like
because
said,
I did say that we were going to.
And at first, we were looking at that, and then as I combed the town, we've unplugged a lot of the alleys that we've
Yeah.
seen, so. But I know that it's an issue if, you know, a tree goes down in the alley, how do I get it up front, you know, so.
I know where I was today. I was on the 600 block of 9th Street, and it was between 9th and 10th. There was a bunch of trees in that area.
I do believe that might be the one Andrew just
Yeah,
gave me the list
okay,
of.
yeah. So that's where I was today. I couldn't remember.
All right.
Well, and I think I mean, obviously, everybody should reach out to us or to City Hall and give us that, because we want to go clean all those up, just some of them, these guys
Right.
didn't know about or they came up afterwards, but yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Sean. The whole reason we took all this cost on and that we've had all these crews running is we want the city to be cleaned up, so we certainly don't want anyone out there to feel like we're not trying to clean up,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
but at some point, we have to make the transition to where we're done, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that calls, we're at, you know, we're a service outfit, so we help anybody that asks for help,
Mhm.
if they ask nice.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
Please help.
Yeah, so any other questions?
You're doing a
Like
good
I
job,
said,
Bob.
hopefully this will be the last one, so we should be done, other than running through a couple areas early next week.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right,
Bob.
thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Good, because we all have a list for you, Bob.
Yeah, I know.